Welcome, everybody. My name is Jordan Adams. I am the Artist Services Program Manager here at the Indiana Arts Commission. And I have Eric Ashby here with me, helping on the technical side of things. And he is our Director of Programs. And so today we're just going to go over a bit of information about the program as well as the application that is currently open. Feel free to drop any questions you may have in the chat. Um, Eric will be taking a look at that. And or since it's just the four of us, you can always come off mute and ask for clarification when you need it. We can move forward. So yeah, we'll go over today the purpose and goals of the program as well as the outcomes, key dates and deadlines, um, the host location, program eligibility and other partners, and then how this program is situated in our full business development suite of programs for artists, and then we'll go over the application overall. Alrighty. So the purpose and goal of the program is to kind of introduce the approach of a portfolio career to early and emerging creatives and artists, and then also a community engagement approach as well. So that differs from a community involvement approach. We think of that as a dialogue between artist and community, how you kind of receive a need from a community and kind of respond to it with arts or creativity. And then just sustainable business-based concepts on how to make that portfolio a career sustainable through time and long term. And then access to funds for an early action grant after you attend our workshop experience, our 3-day workshop experience. And that is $2,000 for that grant opportunity. The outcomes, we want to expand your networks and connections, not only amongst other artists and creatives, but other arts administrators within um, the host location, but the state at large, and other alumni who kind of went through this model and have found success through this program. Marketing and financial education, of course, that is the kind of business concepts that we'll introduce through this curriculum, and then opportunity for you all to contribute to the quality of life in your local community. So you'll get this information in one central location and take it back to where you are. And that's kind of where we engage the community engagement approach. And then again, the opportunity to build a successful and sustainable career. So key dates and deadlines. Cohort application is open now. And the deadline for submitting is February 18th. We do have a 4:30 Eastern deadline because once we go home, we won't be able to provide any technical assistance on our online platform. And so sometimes there are people who try to wait till midnight, and we're not there to provide that assistance. So we want to make sure that there's a 4:30 end of business deadline. Cohort selection notification. So once those applications close, it will go through a review process against the criteria. And I'll show you in a bit where you can access some key documents on our website. But it will go through a review process, and we'll let people who are selected know if they're selected for the cohort the week of March 23rd. And then you'll have a deadline to accept that invitation by April 9th. The key workshop dates are really May 13th through the 15th, but people arrive the evening before because we start bright and early on the 13th. So that night before on Tuesday, on May 12th, we'll just have a kickoff social for people to kind of introduce themselves to other artists in the cohort, as well as IAC staff as well, and our main facilitator as well. Um, so again, this is an accelerator program. So those 3 key dates are the workshop dates, full days of curriculum. And so because it is an accelerator, right after that, your fellowship application will open, and the application deadline for that is June 5th. There will be opportunities to get coaching from our facilitator, as well as some application review from IAC staff, and then fellowship period dates. Once that application is submitted, it also will go through a review process and will give feedback, regardless if you are funded or not for the fellowship. but the implementation for that fellowship grant period is September 1 of this year to September 1st of next year, giving you a full year of implementation for that fellowship project. So where is this year's workshop going to be hosted? It will be here in Indianapolis. I am Indianapolis based. Our offices are Indianapolis based, and we'll be partnering with Indie Arts Council as our local host. We do not have venue details finalized just yet, but when you receive that invitation, those details will be provided there. So just know that if you are in other areas of the state, we will ask you to commute for those 3 days to Indianapolis. So who is eligible to apply for the cohort and who is involved? So again, this is for early career emerging artists. Um, we get some questions on what do we mean by early career emerging artists. So early career is kind of straightforward, but there may be some people who are more seasoned in their discipline who are just now trying to pursue this as a career, if you will. So we still consider those emerging artists, even if you are more seasoned in your artistic discipline and practice, if you will. Again, you're interested in portfolio career. What do we mean by portfolio career? So you're wanting to pursue your artistic discipline in a number of ways. So you may be a musician and you want to be a teaching artist. You want to perform. You want to write a children's book based on music. You want to do a number of things, but all focused within that one discipline. And if you're interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary, you can also be a portfolio career entrepreneur as well. 18 years or older, so this is for adults, and then U.S. citizen and Indiana resident. Um, and you must remain an Indiana resident through the duration of the fellowship implementation period as well. So if for any reason you know that you're planning to move or anything comes up, we would need to be notified of that move, and then we would talk through how, return of funds and all of that will look like. Key partners. So we partner with Dr. Elaine Grogan Luttrell of Minerva Financial Arts. She is one of the co-creators of this program, and she is a CPA by trade who founded this business to kind of give artists leverage in business. She really understands. She's worked at Juilliard before, and it sits on a number of boards, artistic boards, where she really understands the depth in which artists need to file taxes, structure their businesses, and really kind of get into the nitty-gritty of a portfolio career. India Arts Council, again, is our host, and so they will be helping us with venue and hospitality needs, and a number of other things as well. And then again, like I said, we'll have a number of panelists and speakers to kind of speak through, their experiences and kind of give us some resources and insight on what it is to be a successful portfolio career artist. So, Artist Services Business Development Suite. So, if you've been to any of our webinars before, you may have heard us speak about our Artist Needs Assessment. That was a lengthy process that kind of led us to the design of some programs that we've piloted out in recent time. And so Creatively was our first pilot, and Vision Venture just closed. But these programs are designed to kind of act as bookends to ORANT. Vision and Venture being first in the program suite where we're not focusing on a portfolio career, we're focusing on one concrete business vision that we can turn into a viable business venture. And so those are more, again, early career or emerging artists. And so we envision that if you go from Vision and Venture to OnRamp and you're ready to pursue a portfolio career, that kind of leads into our matriculation of our programs. And then Creative Leap is for more seasoned business owners, 5 to 7 years at minimum of pursuing a business idea or portfolio career where you're wanting to gain new momentum in your revenue business strategy and gaining revenue in your business strategy. So we work on application-based concepts, to kind of get that business going again and to gain new revenue streams or strengthen your revenue stream, if you will. Okay, so those QR codes take individuals to those programs, and so either share them with your friends and peers in your network, or those programs may be better suited for you if ORAMP is not. And so I'm happy to answer any questions on a one-on-one basis if you have further questions about those programs. Okay. All right, application overview. I'm going to stop sharing for just a bit so I can share another screen. Any questions while I open the application?
I think this is more of a question for later. I was just wondering what kind of what makes like a strong applicant for this current one for the on-ramp program.
Yeah, so I think the application might answer that. And so if you have more questions after
Yeah.
this, let me know because the application will be open and we kind of embed our criteria into the application as well. So
Okay,
that
thank you.
this might answer your question. Okay, let me share again. Wait, hold on. You love technology? It's not wanting to do that. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
It's getting there. Yep.
Okay, let me. Okay, so um, Eric, can you drop in the chat the link to the on-ramp page? Because on the on-ramp page, there is a link there for you to access our online system. And so when you log in, um, there will be a number of applications available for various programs, but you're of course looking for on-ramp Creative Entrepreneur Accelerator. So all of the guidelines that I'll mention right now, as well as the link to the application itself, is in the link that Eric will provide in our chat. So when you log in, you'll see, these buttons, but I am viewing this application as an applicant, even though it says administrator at the top. And so before you begin, we have just reminders of the deadline because you can work on this throughout the duration that the application is open. But there is a reminder of that, key workshop dates that I just went over, um, deadlines for the fellowship as well, and then all of our guidelines, criteria, and rubric is here as well. My contact information is there, and then if you have any need for assistance with the actual online system, our grants admin email is the best contact. But if you have more program and eligibility questions, I'm happy to answer those. If you have any accessibility needs, a screen reader, anything or accommodations needed there that's not working with our online system, please reach out to this email as well. And then cohort selection priorities. So this might start to answer your questions. So you're showing a commitment to your creative work based on your training experience and um, the work samples that you'll provide relevant to your discipline. You're actively working in your creative practice. You have a long-term goal that shows commitment to creative work. You're confident, excited, and aspirational. And then you're excited. You're connecting your work with others thoughtfully. So you're already kind of doing that work, even if you're not doing it in the way that we're going to kind of, for lack of a better term, preach to. Um, Further selection committee. So we're also going to do a variety of career experience. We're going to make sure that we have statewide representation and then a variety of creative disciplines as well. So we're not going to make sure that it's full visual art or full performing arts. We're going to make sure that we have a variety. And then privacy, make sure that you know that all the documents that you submit into this application are subject to public information requests. We're a government agency, and so all documents that's submitted to our system is public information, but it rarely happens, but just know that it could. Um, yes, by the online system, you can use the save button at the bottom. You can copy and paste from outside documents. You can do a document upload, And if you upload multiple files, it'll do an override, so on and so forth. Just know that all of these information is here. So we'll do an eligibility check right first. And so guidelines are still linked here. Eligible applicants, all that I said before. And so these are the disciplines that we are considering eligible. Um, Dance, music, music theater, visual arts, design arts. It includes all design aspects listed there, crafts, photography, media arts, literature, interdisciplinary. So these integrate more than one form of discipline, and then folk and traditional arts as well. If you have any questions about the disciplines, again, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But if you click yes if you meet all those, and then the rest of the application will open. And so again, our criteria is listed at the top. So if ever you're trying to form an answer and you're not sure on what you're truly answering, go back to your criteria. Again, select your discipline and then describe your main creative work. So if you have an artist statement, it's great to put that here. Not only do we want to know your discipline and your training, we want to know how you uniquely approach it. What makes you different if you're a dancer from one dancer to the next? So this is your time to shine and describe how you approach your own creative work. More example information there. Upload a resume or CV. More information there. Artistic training, grading programs, professional achievements, shows, exhibitions. All this can be included in your resume. You can upload the file there. And then samples of work. So we're asking for um, either quality video, audio file, or pages of text. If you have a link to a portfolio, you can also put that link in here as well. Just make sure that it's open to public view. If you don't have a file to upload, you can always put a link here as well. Okay. If you're having trouble with uploading a file, reach out to me. I might be able to figure out something. We can work together. Don't wait till 4 o'clock on February 18th, though. Career benefits and goals. So you're demonstrating career benefit for participation in on-ramp, and you have long-term goals that demonstrate a commitment to career growth. So you'll tell us how long you've been pursuing your creative career, and then creative status and why on-ramp. So there's guidance there as well on how to answer that question correctly. I will say there are 2,500 characters there for a reason, but do not feel obligated to fill the entire box. If you feel like you're rambling, you probably are. So try to be concise, but try to be well-rounded, and describe where you are in your career and why this program will be beneficial to your career overall. Long-term career goals. So you explain to us where you currently are. Where are you trying to go? What is your big picture goal in your overall career or business goals, if you will? So explain that precisely here. And then community benefit. The community benefit is a great portion of this program in particular. You're actively connecting your work with collaborators and your community, considering possible ways their work may connect with others. So you're either already doing it or you have thoughts on how you can connect to your community. You just kind of need the push and the know-how to connect better with your community. So how do you connect that work with others? So, and then you'll just sign and submit. This is a pretty straightforward application. Um, so again, we're here to help with the application if you need some assistance. I will say because we review, we may not be able to give you far in-depth approaches, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how to word anything, but I can provide more clarity to your applications because this is a competitive process. So I'm trying to get out of here. Yeah, just if you have any questions, let me know. Eric, do you any clarity needed?
I don't think so. I just wanted to add one quick thing about the program that one of the things that we've heard from alumni of the program that's been really valuable for them is that it is a cohort model. So you're in a group with another, 15 to 20 artists who are also pursuing portfolio careers. And that those 3 days that are all spent together is in-person time to really connect with other artists that will be coming from all over the state, variety of disciplines. And so we've seen a lot of really wonderful networks that are built over that time. It's not the sort of networking event where you're going in and trying to just meet people in and out with quick conversations. You'll really get to know people in this workshop, and there's of course there's the fellowship and the funding that comes with that, but there's an immense relational value that comes with it too, from connecting with Elaine, the Indie Arts Council staff, Jordan, and then your fellow cohort members. And so there's a lot of learning that happens in that space too, outside of the formal curriculum. That's always really wonderful to see. So I just wanted to mention that one piece as well.
Thank you. John, did Eric's answer in the application review answer your question?
Yes, thank you. For myself, if I could add, I'm really interested about the community aspect of it because I am an artist. I come from like a social work background, so I was wondering if you had any examples of what maybe previous cohort members have done with that grant to make for community impact, and what kind of ways or what are you like looking for in that regard?
Yeah, there's so many, such a variety, and I'll say two things. One, cohort application, speak to the work you've done and speak to your background there. I will say that on the fellowship side, the fellowship projects that I've seen a number of things. I've seen people open up their own studios for artists, other artists to join them. So kind of more of a group cohort to kind of build up artists in their community. I've seen um what have I seen? People building more community spaces, if you will. I'm trying to think of some other cool projects I've seen.
Right.
And
Education
when I say the
workshops.
community spaces, I think of that in a number of different ways. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to add educational workshops. A lot of people sort of taking some of their creative process and inviting the community into that process in certain ways, whether that's like more formal educational workshops or some people that might be doing public art and sort of finding other participatory pieces to their process, things of that. We've seen things like that. And like Jordan mentioned earlier, there's sort of two application pieces to this program. There's the one that we just went through that's just to get into the workshop, and then there'll be a separate application that's available later that's only open to the people that have gone through the workshop, where you'll be able to talk about a specific project you have in mind that, is hopefully connected in some way to some of the things learned at the workshop. So in the community benefit section that Jordan just talked through, there doesn't have to be a specific project or thing that you're proposing. It's just reflecting on, with your existing body of work, how you view your practice connecting with community benefit and having some of those outward collaborations or other engagements.
Thank you. Yeah, that helps a lot actually.
Welcome. Does anyone else have any other questions? Stuff in the chat. Nope, that's just Eric. Okay. Okay. Well, we're recording this, so this will be linked on the website that Eric provided in the chat as well as within the application. So if you need to access it again for a refresher, you can always do that, but you can always reach out to us too, if you can't think of anything right now. So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you taking time out your evening.